What's going on, everyone? So, Lakers believe that they can win 50 plus games this upcoming season. The Lakers believe they can be 8 wins better than last year, but they're not alone in this optimism. Bleacher Report Eric Pincus wrote. So, the Lakers were 43 and 39. To think the Lakers can't win 7 more games with this roster would be just silly, to put it nicely. This is a team that started 2 and 10, 2 and 10 with a completely different roster, went and made a couple trades, put that roster together. They didn't even play 10 games together. Half of those guys became unplayable, and the Lakers were still able to squeeze out 43 wins. So to think that this roster, which is better, deeper, more versatile, right? You have the emergence of Austin Reeves now. You have a guy in D'Angelo Russell that can go get you 17 plus a night. You have a guy in Rui Hachimura that can go get you, 15 plus a night. You got veteran guys in, Torian Prince and Gabe Vincent, who was just in the NBA Finals. You have Jared Vanderbilt for a whole year. You got Jackson Hayes, who is a great defensive, athletic type center, who is actually one of the better pick and roll defensive big men. You got young guys in Cam Reddish that can defend. You have Max Christie. You have Shafino. You have Lewis as rookies that could make an impact and not mess things up. To think that they can't win 50 games this year is just, it's laughable. You have to be an absolute hater, right? Like that's like saying the Nuggets are probably not going to win 50 games this year, right? Now, could it be close, right? Like, because even the Sacramento Kings and the Western Conference is such a juggernaut. Sacramento Kings were the 3 seed and they only won 48 games. The Memphis Grizzlies, as a 2 seed, only won 51 games, and the Nuggets, who were the best team in the West, only won 53 games, right? The two best records were the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics, who the Celtics finished with 57 wins and the Bucks finished with 58 wins. So you didn't even have a team that had 60 wins this year. But the Lakers getting to 50 wins is very, very achievable. Even with LeBron James and Anthony Davis very likely missing 20 plus games. This team is just so deep, so talented, so skilled. Now, the only thing that kind of, okay, like maybe they wouldn't win 50 games, although again, I think that they are very close, right? I think that they at least get to, 47 wins, something like that. The Phoenix Suns finished as the 4 seed with 45 wins, right? I think the Lakers probably get somewhere in the 4 to 5 range, right? I really do. Just because I don't think the Lakers care about seeding, right? I think the Lakers, the only thing they care about is health, getting LeBron James and Anthony Davis as healthy as possible come the playoffs. I think that this is a roster that is just, their only goal is just to get in the playoffs healthy. Whether they're the 6 seed or the 1 seed. I just think as long as they can avoid the play-in, this is a team that is a legit threat that people are going to be afraid of and not going to want to face. Nobody's going to want to face the Lakers. And look, I have said it and I fully stand by it. If we get bubble Anthony Davis, that version of Anthony Davis this year in the playoffs, nobody is beating this team in a 7-game series. Nobody. Not the Phoenix Suns, not the Nuggets, not the Kings, nobody. Now, I wouldn't be shocked if the Lakers ended up as the 1 seed. I really wouldn't. Like, if you could fast forward, if you could jump in a time machine right now, go see how the end of the year looks, and if you came back and were like, hey, I just want to let you know the Lakers finished as the 1 seed and they won like 60 games, I would not be shocked in the slightest. I just don't think that they're going to be pushing to try to win as many games as possible. I think that they're just going to be, obviously they want to win. Obviously, if they're in a position to win, I just don't think like that is the absolute, like, we have to win 60 games. Like, we have, like, something like that. I don't think that that's something that they have drawn on the whiteboard. I think it's get through the season, stay healthy, let's keep minutes down, everyone contribute, everyone play the game, and we're good, right? That's what I think it is. Because the Lakers, they're very young, very talented front to back. Like the average age of this roster is like 26, 27. So they're a young team. And the only real old people are LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And look, I believe if you sat LeBron James the entire year, if you just said, hey, LeBron, you're just going to sit, you're just going to rest, we'll bring you back, like 10 games or whatever before we get in the playoffs, so you can kind of ramp up, get ready for the playoffs. I still believe this team is a top 5-6 team in the West. If you took Anthony Davis off this roster and just had LeBron James, Lakers would need another center for sure. But if you did, I think this is a roster that, again, could still make the playoffs as like the 5th or 6th seed in the West. If you took off both LeBron James and Anthony Davis, I don't think they'd be the 5th or 6th seed. I still think that this is a team that could compete for a play-in spot. Like, legitimately. Now, granted, that could be the 10th seed, but I think that they would have the ability to be a play-in team. Right? So, this is a team that has talent, that has depth. And for those that are like, there's no way, blah, blah, blah. Like, you have Austin Reeves who could get you 20 a game. I mean, he was giving you a 20 a game in the playoffs. Right? Imagine if he was the main guy. He could probably get you 25 plus a game. D'Angelo Russell, we've seen, is more than capable of going and getting 23 plus a game and still giving you 5 to 6 assists. So he still could be that guy. You have Rui Hachimura, who, if he's basically the second or third option, he's probably getting you 20 a night. Between those three guys alone, you'd probably get 70 points a game. Right? And then you have 10 other guys that could all contribute 10 a night. And they'd be very good defensively still. I don't think that they'd be elite, top level defense because Anthony Davis just provides so much. But still think that they'd be one of the better defensive teams with Darvin Ham. So they'd be a really good defense. They'd probably still score 120 points a game. And I absolutely think this team could make the play-in. But you have teams like Sacramento, they probably have on the whiteboard, let's go win 60 games. Because they're a young team that's trying to prove themselves. The history of the Kings hasn't been that great. They just got into the playoffs for the first time in like 18 years or whatever it was. Right? You have teams like that they genuinely care about the seeding and they want to prove something. Right? They want to show like, hey, we can do that. Even the Phoenix Suns. Right? I could see the Phoenix Suns wanting to get the 1 seed just to prove a point. And just to kind of establish themselves, which I think is foolish. And I hope for Phoenix's sake that that's not the case. But I absolutely could see them going like, hey, let's go get the 1 seed and just show that we're this powerhouse. That we're the team everyone thinks we are. I think the Lakers win. I think they win somewhere around like 48 to 53 games, somewhere in that ballpark, right? I do. And look, there's also a lot of questions for teams in the West. Like, the West is a juggernaut and just a madhouse, but how does Memphis look without Ja Morant for 20-plus games, right? And then even when he comes back, is he rusty? Because he can't work out in the facility or anything. So does he take a little while? If he takes another 10 games to kind of get back to being Ja Morant, I mean, you're talking the Grizzlies will be halfway through the season. And so how do they look? And especially because they lost Jones, right? So, Tyus Jones was huge for them and was one of the reasons that they were still very good even without Ja. You have the Nuggets, who a lot of teams get that championship hangover, right? And they start slipping a little bit. Teams kind of figure them out. They also got worse. They're not like bad or anything like that, but I do think losing Bruce Brown and losing Jeff Green, I think hurts them and, takes away some of their depth. So the Nuggets, they could start slipping a little bit. The Clippers, you can never really trust or buy the Clippers. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are probably going to miss 30-plus games this year each. The Warriors are a big question mark. How does Chris Paul and all that look? They have no big men. Minnesota, I still don't buy. I still think that they need to blow that up. Pelicans, who knows what goes on with Zion and, his baby mamas and, the what star that is blackmailing him and stuff like that. The Thunder, I think, have potential to be very good. Dallas, still a real question mark. Utah, same thing. So there's not, my point is that there's not a lot of teams that you look at and go, like, the Lakers really have to compete hard with. Like, the Lakers, more likely than not, will probably be a top 3 to 4 seed. I just don't think that it's going to be a huge part. Like, if Anthony Davis gets some knick-knack foul or injury and he can come back, I think that they let him kind of sit out a little longer and make sure he's good, right? I really do. So I think that that's the priority, is like, let's just get through this. Let's just be healthy and let's get ready for the playoffs. Darvin Ham has got a lot he's got to figure out. This is a very deep, talented roster. He's got to find the minutes for everybody. This is easily, I think, a 48 to 50 win team. I really do. Again, if you don't believe that this team can win 7 more games than they won last year, even after starting 2-10 and basically Mickey Mousing a team together at the trade deadline, it's laughable. Will they go for it? That's something that's different. And them not going for it is not the same thing as them not being able to do so. Can they do it? Absolutely. Will they do it? It's really up to them. It's really up to them how hard they want to push. How hard do they want to go? But, I mean, time will tell. I really like this Lakers roster. I really do believe that this Lakers roster is one of, if not the best, deepest rosters in the league. I think they're the deepest roster without a doubt. I really do. I mean, how many teams have legit 15 guys deep that could all make huge plays, be starters for other players on other teams? Like, you look at this roster and you're just like, man, this roster is very talented. They're big, they're versatile. The smallest guy is Gabe Vincent, and he's 6'3". Right? Like, this is a roster. This is a legit contending roster. So to think that they can't win 50 games is just, it's silly. It really is. It's silly. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? How many wins do you think that they get? Do you think they get 50? Do you think they get less? Do you think they get more? However you feel, love to hear it. Let me know.